You're not gonna believe this, but I'm lost. Completely lost. I've gone off the path, alright? I went into the Amazon on a safari, and now I'm just completely lost in the unknown. No, not really. Obviously, I'm at the woods, at the campsite, yet again. Originally, I just got out of class, I don't know, like an hour ago. Came out here, because the college is just down the road from where I'm at. Decided I'll come out here. I was gonna do a little bit of work out here. I got some plans for stuff I want to do, but it's 80 degrees out. I know, I'm a real badass and all. And I'm sure somebody from Mississippi will be like, oh, well, that's nothing. It gets to like 200 trillion degrees down here in the summer. Well, that's great and all, my man, but I don't feel like doing hard labor in 80-degree weather, so maybe like Thursday morning or Friday morning I'll come out here. Probably not. Actually, I think we're going camping somewhere on Thursday, so probably not. But at some point next week, maybe I'll come out here and elaborate a little more, maybe film some stuff. But wanted to do something else since I'm already out here. I actually filmed a bunch of stuff earlier, and then there was an issue, and I decided to just delete it and refilm it. But that's old. That's what I wanted to film right there. Those old clotheslines from when this was still a farmhouse. Used to be when we went camping, we'd put a generator right there. Because we're just hardcore like that. We go camping with a generator. But you know, I'm sure you can hear it's not exactly... You don't exactly get the sound of nature all the time out here. But we plugged in lights, had a camper. There'd be like a whole huge group of people out here. Unfortunately, the line went like 150 feet to the campsite. So for any electricians out there, as you probably know, if you get a extension cord that goes 100 feet or more, you end up losing a lot of the power. But anyway, I'm already out here. Figured I could do something else. I've already given the whole elaborate tour of the campsite. However, I figure I can go off the beaten path and show some other stuff. This right here is a sidewalk, an old sidewalk, partly ripped up. I'm doing something with that. Whenever I get around to coming back out here to doing the work, I'll elaborate further on what exactly that is. But the path that goes to the old house foundation, very overgrown now. Now I'm going off the path, going into uncharted territory. There. When we first came out here, we did graffiti on this thing. Well, kind of graffiti. I mean, it's old light box back when this still had power going to it. We actually painted this thing because it was all rusted out, and we figured why not. Can't really open it now because it's rusted shut, but some mice made a nest in there. I don't know if they're still in there. Can't open it. Not gonna try. But as you can see, got an open part here. It's the old house foundation, if you can distinguish it from... It's all overgrown now because nobody ever goes over there. We used to do airsoft gun target practice, but pretty much everyone sold their airsoft guns because they don't really use them anymore. Now we have real guns to use on each other. Not really, but there was a time when there was a lot of poison sumac out here in this field. There is still some in the woods somewhere, but easy to tell because it got these bright red leaves on it. If I got it right, I might get that completely wrong and just walk into poison sumac right now, but there used to be a bunch here, and I told people when they came out here, don't go out into this area. It's poison sumac, and one dumbass decided he's gonna go out there and do a military style belly crawl through it. So actually, now that I think about it, I wasn't there for that. I heard it from somebody else, and let's just say the source I heard it from is a little biased, so it's possible that that just never happened, but there did used to be poison sumac out here. So now go into the woods, try to avoid stepping into the other stuff. This is really the only good way to get into the woods without going through thistles and thorns and man-eating carnivorous plants and tree ants like from Lord of the Rings. All kinds of wacky stuff. But anyway, this part is the open space, as I call it. Creative, I know. The gravel road over there. We got highway there. I'm sure you can hear the you can hear the wild roaming herds of vehicles, the North American vehicle. Don't worry, it's not an endangered species. But over there, that's like, you go into there and then the campsite is kind of past those trees a little bit, and then past that, the western half is the old growth part, because back when this was a farmhouse, that used to be a little patch of woods there. This part used to all just be completely open except for some of these older trees. So this is the young growth part, which is why it's kind of, I don't know, this is just called the young growth part. But yeah, originally when there were people camping out here, we had plans with a bunch of people from high school. We'd get together and we had some plans. We were going to set up this whole elaborate thing. Some people were going to camp in the campsite. Some people were going to set up a campsite out here. We're going to have like an airsoft war. We're going to be out here for like a week. It's going to be a whole thing. And then stuff happened, and I don't really want to get too much into it, but stuff happened and the friend group kind of split in half, and so it kind of never happened. What? Kind of a neat place out here though. It's pretty open, pretty cool out, temperature wise. I mean, this part, now this is an artifact right here. As you can see, about 6 years ago, I want to say, I came out here, and for whatever reason I was going to chop this log up, and I actually did part of it. You can see there, cut this part with a saw, one of the like hand saws. I don't remember why or what I was going to do with it. Maybe that was going to be the Thor shrine that's in the campsite originally. I can't remember, but I started sawing this part, and as you can see, didn't really end so well. It's still stuck in there, but I got about halfway through that, and then the saw broke because I made the one critical mistake people make when sawing logs, which is that you start sawing it and then the log kind of bends inward, and it just kind of bends in on the saw blade, and yeah. So originally I started doing it with an axe, and then I got tired of doing that, so I used a saw, and you see how that went. So yeah, a lot of logs out here. If anyone ever needs firewood out here, anyone, it's pretty much just me nowadays, but plenty of firewood out here. I mean, it is, in this woods, firewood is pretty plentiful anyway, no matter where you go. It's a woods after all, but plenty of stuff here. Only downside is if one were to go camping out in this part, you'd hear all that. But interesting thing is, look there, you can actually find artifacts. Well, yeah, I guess it is an artifact, but back when this used to be a house and all that, and then, you know, you find artifacts out here, right? It's not really, my mind kind of trailed off as I was saying that, but basically you can go around out here and you can find pretty much garbage, but it's kind of neat because it's old garbage, so you could do like a whole archaeological dig out here and who knows what you'd find. That farmhouse was being used as a farm for like 150, 200 years, I don't know, but so there's a lot of stuff out here. A lot of stuff I've already gotten. I got an empty bottle of Chanel No. 5 out here once. I got a lot of jars, a fungus. I'm not taking that though. He can stay there. He's hard at work cleaning up the mess out here. But interesting stuff you can find out here, mostly garbage. These are the ritual stones. Back in the ancient times, the mysterious ancient Paleolithic people did rituals out here. No, I'm just completely bullshitting that, but the neat looking rocks out here though. But I thought about, because I do some rock carving. I'm not a professional, but I figured maybe I could do something with these, carve some stuff onto them or into them. I don't know, kind of a neat thing. At the flat one and the other two. Problem is I'm not looking at the camera while I'm filming, looking at the woods, so I don't know what all is getting seen here, but there you get to see that. But do a quick go around out here, see if I can find anything else worth note. I was out here earlier and I didn't really find too much. Yes, chainmail from the Middle Ages. Somehow it got from Europe over to America. It traveled 4,000 miles over the Atlantic in 900 AD. I don't know. I have a habit of bullshitting a lot of stories, but as my grandpa would say, I lie a lot, but I'm honest about it. So, only the politicians thought like that, but yeah. It'd be great one day if they built like an interstate nearby. I mean, there is an interstate nearby, but if they built something nearby and it diverted all the traffic off of that highway, like in the movie Cars, or I mean just in real life anyway, you know, they had Route 66 was a huge route, and then Eisenhower built all the interstates in the 50s and basically killed all those old routes like Route 66, and now it's pretty much abandoned. Oh heavens. But it'd be great if they could do that here, and then I can get some peace and quiet, but I have a strange feeling that's not gonna happen, at least for a while. But yeah, not sure if there's anything too interesting to find here. Do a whole archaeological dig, maybe you'd find something. Maybe it'd be like those tepes they find in Turkey now, you know, oh, there's something, a shovel head and a shovel handle. There we go. Archaeology at its finest. There we go. You know, is actually, I could use as a regular shovel. This would be very helpful for digging holes. What with it being a shovel designed to dig holes. Deep holes. That's a neat find. But there's something. I want to say that's insulation, perhaps. I don't really want to touch it in case it's fiberglass and I'm not wearing any gloves. But yeah, you find old stuff out here. Most of it's just like garbage that's either from the farmhouse or what have you. But I don't know, you do a dig here, maybe you'll actually find a Paleolithic site under here. I don't know how long people have lived in this area. They keep changing it. I think it was originally they've been here for 16,000 years. And then they recently found a mastodon kill site, and they're saying it's older than that or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert, obviously, but yep. That's just kind of that part, kind of a neat part. Maybe once I'm finished doing what I'm doing in the campsite, I might build like a mud hut out here. There'd be no point in doing it, like no useful point, but it'd just be kind of a neat thing to do. Go now, I'll head back out the way I came. But that's an interesting looking thing. But oh, I gotta duck down under it. It's a vine. It's a vine like they used to have before TikTok. Those were the days. Not really. I thought Vine was just as irritating as TikTok personally, but well, I guess I'll take that back. TikTok is still more irritating than Vine was, but I'm not really a social media person, so I wasn't a huge fan of either of them. But there we go. Here's something. Oh, I got a spider web on my face. This is a pole, actually. You can see it's got some wire. It's not copper wire, but there's some came off of there. It didn't fall off. We cut it off because it was dry rotted. We didn't want it to fall on anyone. So there's some cable on it. We took a bunch of the cable off of it and tried to sell it. Turns out I don't remember what it was, but it sold for like $4 for like 100-pound spool of it. So, not really worth anything. I'm pretty sure that used to be a refrigerator. I want to say it's been out here for ages. So, and now we're back in the driveway. The lone tree. Get some real creative names for things out here, don't I? But yeah, I didn't really plan on doing much today out here, but I came out here anyway. Wanted to show off some other stuff that I found while I was out here. Show off some other parts of the woods. Maybe one day when I'm feeling a little more ambitious, I'll venture off into the deep woods. Go into the old growth. Go in there and you probably find uncontacted tribes living in there. Find undiscovered species in there probably. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yep.